Welcome to this Opera training video all about event documents. In today's session, just to let you know, I am using my demo account. Within my demo account, it is all demo data. If you require any help, either during the video or afterwards, you can contact our support team. On the top right-hand side under help, the support link here right at the bottom will take you to all the ways that you can contact our support team. Whilst under help, you can also go to FAQs. There are knowledge-based articles on how to complete certain functionalities or do certain things within Opera, such as looking at event documents. Down on the right-hand side as well, on every Opera page, there is a live chat, our icon here. Clicking on that will open up a live chat conversation that you can start with our support team. Before I show you everything around event documents, I just wanted to jump to our knowledge-based article on event documents in the first instance. So what event documents are, they give administrators and staff a way to group together and see all documents related to an event or a trip. What schools and administrators can do, you can upload external documentation. So if you have any standard risk assessments that every staff member should have access to, you can also upload Opera risk assessments. So if the trip lead has created a specific risk assessment for that trip, you can upload that document into event documents. So all staff members going on the trip have access to the same information. As well as that, depending on how you've got your account set up, you can also give staff members access to medical and dietary information for those students going on the trip, as well as their emergency contact information. So I'm going to jump back into Opera now. I just did want to give you a high-level overview of event documents. In order to have an event within an event doc, you must have an event form. So that's a parent form, which is an event form. Now, looking at my Australian trip October 2022 form, which I've previously created, if I click the three lines to open that up, you can see here that this is a parent event form. Now, if you're not familiar with the different form types that you can create within Opera, check out our YouTube page. There is a training video all around form types on there. So I've got my parent event form, which means I will have an event within my event documents. On the left-hand side, the fourth icon down is my event documents. Clicking into there now, I can see right at the top, I've got Australia trip October 2022. Over here, it tells me that there's 12 members. So I've got 12 students associated to this form, and I don't have any documents uploaded into event docs. Now, what I wanted to touch on briefly before I click into my Australian trip is when you create an event for an event document, you don't have to enable the form. You also don't need students associated to it. So if you look down further here to my Year 6 food technology excursion, you'll notice under members it says 0. All I've done is I've created a shell of a form, just created that form as an event form. I haven't actually added any questions to it either. I've just saved it and it's allowed me to have an event within your event documents. So I work with several schools who use event documents and they just create an event form so they can have somewhere that they can upload all their documentation to for their staff when they're on a trip. Going back to my Australian trip though, clicking on that link will open this up. So I'm in my Australian trip October 2022. On the left-hand side, I have two options. I have upload document and upload self-service submission. So clicking upload document, this is where you can then choose to upload any documentation from an external site. So I'm just going to upload a PDF, test PDF file now. So you can see here, I've got my test document, which has been uploaded. So uploading that document via upload document, it does allow you to upload a document from an external site. And then when I look at upload self-service submissions, clicking on that, just take a few seconds to load. And then typing in Australia, here's my trip planning form. So clicking that form that I know I submitted and then clicking save. Now what that's done, one, it's uploaded the trip planning form, which is the form that was created by an administrator that as a staff member I needed to submit, but it's also added any attachments that have been provided. So one of the questions that I have in my trip planning approval form is a question for the staff member to upload their risk assessment. So because that's come through as an image in my test form, that image has also been accessible with Event Docs. So all staff who have access to it also have access to that image as well. Now, over on the right-hand side, the last thing that we can see here is no staff on this event. Staff can be added to events by assigning staff to the event eForm on the main administration screen. So what that means is that when you have your event form, you can assign staff access to that form. Now, assigning staff access to a form gives them the ability to see the students that are attending that trip or associated with that form. And depending on your settings of your account, the staff members can then also see the students' emergency contact details and the students' medical and dietary information. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to quickly assign some staff to this. So by doing that, I'm going to click Students. Here's my Australia trip here. So clicking on the text of that will show me my card view. But on the right-hand side here, it tells me that I have no staff assigned to this form. I'm just going to find myself. I'm going to drag myself over to that trip. So if we look at that trip now, we can see that I'm now assigned to that. So if I come back into my event docs and my Australia trip, I can see that myself, I am assigned to the form. Now, the other thing that you can do as well, if you have more than one staff member assigned, so let me quickly do that. Let me add another staff member. It doesn't matter who I add. We'll add John back into my event docs and my Australian trip. It's now got John and myself. Now, currently, John and myself have access to all three documents, but if you wanted to restrict access to a specific document and make it the event leader only, what you can do, if you select the staff member or the staff members, you can have multiple. So at the moment, I've just got myself as the event leader, and then I can select the document here as well. So if I click on the test document, I've told Operoo that only the test document should be accessible and visible to the event leader. So when I have a look, I'll have access to all three documents. But John, if I logged into John's account, John would only have access to those top two because he's not an event leader. So when it comes to your event docs, before I show you what it looks like, you need to make sure that you have a parent event form. That will then enable the event within the event documents. Once you're in the event documents, you can then upload external documentation, such as an overall risk assessment, or maybe contact information for staff, emergency contact information. You can also upload any self-service submissions as well. And if you have any images in that upload self-service submission, those images will also show, such as my please upload a completed risk assessment. And also on the right, we've got my staff who are assigned to the trip, and I can outline who the event leaders. So that's your event docs. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to my staff view, which is Operoo Central. And I'm going to show you what that looks like to the staff member who's running the trip. So if I come down to my groups and my eForms, looking for my Australian trip, and it's over here on the right-hand side. So I can see that there's 12 students associated to the form, and I can also see that I have event documents here. Now, if you are looking at event docs, if you don't have any documentation uploaded to event docs, this button will not show. So you need to make sure you have at least one document uploaded against your event. Then right at the top, there's a couple of icons. So I can see students who have high risk or moderate medical conditions. I can also have a look to see how many students have responded. So for example, I've had 3 acceptances for this trip. Now clicking into my view 12 students or my Australian trip, what this will do, this will take me and show me the information about the student. So this is all dependent on your school settings. So if I was to click on a name, say Charlotte's name, it would show me Charlotte's profile. I can also see the response the parent has provided. And depending on settings, there are a few things that I can do up here on the top. But where I mainly wanted to show you was event documents. So I'll just wait for that to load, coming back down and clicking into event documents. So here's my documents that I can see. So I can see that John has been associated to the form. So have I. Both of us have been assigned access. I'm the event leader, which is why I can see all 3 documents. And then clicking view document, that document will just open up for me. It's just a test document. So that's what we'll show to the staff members when they're accessing event docs. So hopefully you found today really informative and the session informative. You've learned some information on how you can use event docs and what information you can share with staff members whilst they are on a trip or event. If you do have any questions, please contact our support team. We'd love to help you in any way we can. Thank you for your time.